Welcome to the On the Air podcast, where we spotlight technology leaders and discuss innovation and future of tech and leadership. Today, I welcome Thomas Kleine. He's the CIO of Gardena, where he's leading digital transformation across one of the most recognized consumer hardware brands. With the more than 2 decades of experience driving innovation, Thomas has shaped the digital future of companies like Pfizer and Coca-Cola. His background blends pharma, CPG, manufacturing, and enterprise consulting, giving him a unique cross-industry lens on how technology, data, and AI are reshaping global businesses. Hi, Thomas. How are you? It's great to have you.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So today I would like to talk a little bit about leadership in times of disruption, how CIOs can bring digital resilience, and how the role of AI is shaping the next decade of enterprise transformation. So, Thomas, looking back, what drew you towards the technology side of business transformation?
Yeah, it's a good question, actually. And I guess the simple answer is fate, because I never intended to be honest. So the background I have is actually, I'm not a tech person, right, in the first place. So I didn't study, engineering or anything like that. I have an MBA. So my kind of preference was always to kind of look at the business side of things. And I'm not necessarily a tech geek. I'm not in love with technology, though I have a big passion for it. And I know, and I have seen throughout my career what technology can do, what impact it can have to organizations, to companies. And I guess that's where my current job is actually also residing, and why I have ended up in this area. It's exciting to be in that space. We live in the digital age. We're on the edge of 2026. So yeah, that's a little bit, I guess, why I'm in this area. And so I hope that I also bring the right balance to the table, meaning looking at the technology side of things, but also at the same time making sure that technology drives an outcome. It delivers value to the customers or the consumers or the employees. I think that for me is always of equal importance. So it's not only about technology.
Absolutely. And I also think that CIO role is changing a lot towards business and having more connection with business outcomes. I think you're actually more of ahead of your time when your background brought more, business acumen to this very specific technology information, role. And if we think about your industries, right, you worked across very different sectors, from consumer goods to healthcare to manufacturing. What experience really giving you this digital strategy a new spin, and actually what really connecting all the different industries with the digital scale?
There's, I believe, a good layer of commonalities that I have experienced working in the digital area across the industries. So what are these commonalities then? I mean, for example, I think data is something that is crucial for any organization, and not only having data, sitting in silos, but unlocking it, right? I guess in conjunction with the focus on data comes another commonality, which I believe is customer or consumer centricity, right? To deliver great experiences to the end consumer, to the customers, you need to capitalize on the data that you as an organization either sit on or that you integrate from third parties. So I think that's another common thread that goes across, which enables and drives digitalization. And then another element I would probably mention in a nutshell is personalization. These days, I believe it's all about making sure that you as a user, as a consumer of whatever products or services, you have a unique experience. And so I think technology also can enable this and can help it, specifically in the age of AI. So I think that's a little bit where I'm coming from, and where I see also kind of a common thread across industries.
I also think that the industry you are in is very exciting and full of innovation, right? The smart home and outdoor spaces. So at Gardena, what is known is that you guys are pioneering smart irrigation and connected garden devices. How do you see the next wave of innovation in the smart home and outdoor space, and how also you see AI and predictive analytics transforming the production, logistics, or even maintenance in the next few years?
I believe that the next wave is kind of really linked to what I just said in terms of bringing more data, unlocking data across the consumer or the customer journey. I think this is really, for me, what is very important. And I think also to be less product centric, but more experience and service centric, meaning this is not only about selling a product. Of course it is, right? I mean, it's selling a robotic lawnmower. It's selling about an irrigation system. That's right. But I think we need to think actually further and beyond that, really providing this end-to-end kind of experiences to the consumer, complementing it with additional services that he or she needs, or also our customers actually. So I think that is something where I believe we see some sort of an evolution, enabled and again empowered by digital technologies, by AI, by automation. And that actually leads to, I believe, the second part of your question, which is in fact around the impact and the disruptive kind of elements of AI and actually across the entire value chain. So it includes what you just mentioned, supply chain, manufacturing, logistics. It goes across. Just to give you one example, maybe to make this more tangible, we recently launched a service to our consumers where they can actually use their smartphone and just take the camera, activate the camera, and take a picture of any broken spare part of their device, and then upload this image onto our website, and then you automatically get the respective spare part details back, and you can even automatically purchase them online via Amazon, so that there is a link. So it's really a seamless, very easy to use experience. So you don't have to, visit your dealer, or you don't have to in a cumbersome way look at the right spare parts, or what is the broken screw that I'm looking for. This is AI enabled, right? So I think that's a great example how we kind of progress on this journey as a company as well, and we will continue.
No, this is great. And I feel that you gave a perfect example how it really AI enables faster and much better customer service, less clicks and, headaches of phone calls. So in the future, in all these connected systems, from garden to homes to other industries, what really excites you the most? And in your role as well, where do you see that you will continue evolving and looking at new ideas and projects in the next few years?
Yeah, my excitement is a lot around the fact that the sky is the limit these days. So what I mean with this is, again, from a technology and digital perspective, more and more, given the rapid evolution of technologies, platforms, tools, software no longer become the limiting or are no longer the limiting factor. I mean, it's out there, it's available, and I think the challenges maybe are more around integrating it, realizing value from it, applying it to the work environment, or applying it to customer use cases or consumer use cases. So that, I think, is really exciting. And I think also the fact that with more and more compute power, we are in a position to really capitalize and unlock these massive data streams and data silos that we are sitting in. Because to me, this is really key. We have a lot of data, and right now we are not necessarily there to really extract information and insights from it entirely, but we're on that journey. And I see already examples like the one, for instance, that I've mentioned before, where we can capitalize on the data that we're having. So I think that is something which I believe I really look forward to. And maybe another thing, if I can just add very quickly, is a little less technology related. I also think that there is a greater openness amongst our colleagues, amongst our consumers, our customers, to really use digital technologies and integrate that. So there is an openness and adoption that I see. And I think that's also something that I believe we can capitalize on going forward.
Thank you for that. Changing the subject to everybody's thinking about leadership and the teams and how AI could be replacing some jobs, could be helping to create new jobs, right? The AI prompters, AI architects in your area and in tech world and a German market and overall Europe. How do you see things and workforce will be shaping up, changing? What are you guys doing to really enable your teams to become smarter and working faster? And is it one specific strategy, or you have like a platform that everyone is allowed to use? What does adoption looks like at your company?
We're trying to actually look at this really in a very holistic way. And what I mean with this is, in the first place, for us, introducing AI technologies at the workplace or across our value chain in the first place is a big change effort. And we are, by this or saying this, we're actually complementing the technology deployment with a massive effort around enablement, upskilling, reskilling, training. So to really invest in our colleagues and our staff, that they can use these tools in the most productive and efficient way. And that takes time. It is quite some heavy lifting. So I'm not saying, of course, it is easy. But what helps a lot also is a very practical example that I would like to share in terms of driving adoption, which is what I label seeing is believing. What we're doing is we're utilizing colleagues in our organization to act as testimonials, where they are actually telling their story on how they have, in a very simple and pragmatic way, leveraged AI technologies in their daily work. And they tell how they have become more productive. They show their peers, their colleagues, low-hanging fruits or these kind of quick wins, which are easy to adopt or to even think further. So it inspires our colleagues. So my role is not necessarily to stand on the stage and do all these kind of talks. I would like to rather encourage and mobilize the broader organization and have these testimonials, colleagues from across the organization, to kind of be the multipliers and the ambassadors for the technology. So that's how we approach it.
No, I love it. It's like a change makers. You find your hidden gems that love the AI work that they're doing, and especially being in a spotlight. I don't know how you're sharing it in a portal or actually you have town halls. What is the way to share it with the rest of the group?
Yeah, we have multiple formats. Like you said, we have like these show and tell, which are like both online or actually all three formats. You have online formats, you have hybrid formats, you have in-person meetings or town halls. We have recordings, actually. We publish articles internally where we kind of have these showcases described so that colleagues can read. We do also kind of offer a very broad curriculum, training curriculum to our colleagues, which again consists of a mix of things. These are in-person traditional classroom trainings, but also online trainings, on-demand trainings, so that people actually can really pick and choose and also, kind of take the format that they like, which suits best their needs, to address these various levels of kind of colleague literacy when it comes to AI, because it varies across the organization. So we're trying to, as much as possible, address the various needs that we see in our company.
No, phenomenal, amazing. And I think the last question about your personal usage of AI, how percentage of time that you use, what are your favorite tools, and what is the most impactful format that will help you and enable you as a CIO, and maybe at home as well, to focus on what's important and automate what's not?
I'm not necessarily a super geek. However, I am a big fan of technology. I like to experiment. I like to test things out and see if it drives value. It can scale. So I'm using actually and trying out multiple things. So one, for instance, of course, is Copilot. That's a no-brainer. I mean, for those of you who are using Microsoft, it's kind of a standard tool these days as well. And I'm more and more adopting it in the sense that I am no longer, using Google to search for something, but I prompt it in Copilot. So that's kind of my own journey that I'm on, and I'm switching more and more, or at least have Copilot also in my brain, so to speak, when it comes to I need information. What I also use a lot is a tool that helps me to translate documents from one language to another without destroying the formatting, which is quite helpful. For instance, if you think about, English to German or any other language, that is quite convenient for me. It helps me a lot to, save time, to be more productive, to be more efficient. And then another tool maybe to just mention is Synthesias. It is a content tool, so AI tool for content generation, for instance, videos. So we use that a lot also internally to record information and kind of specifically, I guess, make sure we communicate maybe complex and complicated and difficult content topics in a very easy to digest way, because that's where AI can help you a lot, that it is kind of illustrated and summarized and communicated in an easy fashion so that colleagues can follow and understand. So that's, these are the tools and the platforms specifically in the AI space that I'm using myself, that my team is using, and we're trying to obviously, spread the word and drive the adoption across the company.
Oh, fantastic. Thanks for sharing. I think video content is also, and documents, all these things that you're mentioning, that it took many, many hours of work to really do that one task. And now you can really automate and move forward faster. Last question about German market. I know that adoption of AI and AI literacy and risk and compliance is different for every country. So maybe your perspective of Germany and, like comparing to other European countries and even US or Canada, where do you see more easy way for us to get in, or maybe there's more security and, risk and compliance restraints?
Yeah, I believe that Germany as a country, given it is part of the European Union, lots of regulations like GDPR or the AI Act also apply to us as a country. And we are, as a country, adhering obviously to these regulations, which go across actually the European Union countries. So we not necessarily have, I would say, stricter regulations on top of that. It's occasionally, but most of the times, for instance, like in GDPR, this is our standard framework. So we are trying to also not overcomplicate, to apply and use these technologies from a regulatory framework perspective in our countries by, on the one hand, making sure you comply to all the EU level regulations that you have, but then on top, the country specific ones. So that's what, and I know it's a balance that you need to find, because in some cases, yes, there are like federal laws, obviously, also when it comes to data privacy, that are specific and maybe a little more strict or stricter in Germany. But I think it is not as, from an outside perspective, that you may want to look at Germany as being a market or a country where it's super complicated to leverage these technologies and then also to do business with. I just maybe kind of hope I was able to a little bit put this stereotype or this fear in perspective.
Yes, I think what I've seen also in the European market, because we cover that as well, is it's more openness for trying new things. But then, yes, at the end, you have to definitely look at your load and if everything is in compliance. But more openness, more ideas, more shaping up the innovation hubs and tools. So it's great to see that European Union is more open to new ideas. So it was awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, Thomas. Great conversation. Wishing you great things about ecosystems and smart homes, and I definitely look forward to having some of that in my house to make sure that I have this ease of use and all the technology that is out there. And thanks for making our life easier.
Thank you so much as well. I appreciate it. It was a pleasure to talk to you.